Doc Kinston with you here. I wanted to do a quick tabletop review on this Bushnell TRS-25. I already have one video out on it, and it was a drop test I did with it while it was on a rifle. I see a lot of testing done with sights and scopes that are, they're not on a rifle, they're not mounted, and they just test the sight by throwing it or dropping just the sight. I think that's unrealistic because you're gonna definitely have it on on some kind of firearm if you ever did drop it, or if it gets banged up or hit by something, and you want the sight to be able to hold zero. So if you want to, you can go check that out. That's on my other video. I think it's TRS-25 drop test or torture test or something like that. I can't even remember. It's been quite a while since I did it, but go check that out if you want to see it. This is just going to be a tabletop, giving some quick details and some thoughts and opinions on it. And this is just what I think. A lot of people use these sights. They're not an expensive sight, so if you're just looking for something to buy cheap and have it on a rifle or whatever to have fun with, that's fine. Me personally, I wouldn't run this on a fighting rifle. I wouldn't run it on a home defense rifle. I wouldn't put it on a duty rifle. But that being said, it still has a purpose, and that purpose I think is for plinking, for fun, maybe even for someone that just doesn't have the money to buy something, but they want some kind of optic. It's going to work most of the time. It's not going to take abuse as well as some more expensive red dots, but it is what it is. I got this one here for around $50. They usually run, I think, $80, maybe $90. I got this one on, it was on a sale. To be honest, I wouldn't pay $80 or $90 for it. The 50, it's right there. Yeah, cheap red dot, $50. Throw it on something, have fun with. I don't know what I'm gonna put this one on exactly. I've had it for a while now, since that last video. I just haven't really put it on anything, but if you put it on 22 or something like that, it'd be real fun. Put it on an AR. You could probably run it competition, something like that, if you're doing some like 3-gun or some close quarters type competition, it would work good for that. It's not going to be a life or death thing there, so if it stopped working or broke, it's not as big of a deal. What you get in the box is you get the sight. It's the little bitty red dot. It's only about 2.5 inches long, and it weighs, don't quote me, a little over 3 ounces. Pretty small and light. I think it's comparable in size to the Aimpoint T1. Comes with just your paperwork, manual. Got a little cleaning cloth, little Allen wrench to tighten it down. And this one is not the raised one. There's 2 different ones that Bushnell has. This is just the flat one, and you can buy a riser for it. Also comes with these little, lens covers. I probably will not ever use these. I have not used them yet. I don't see any point in throwing them on there, because then I'll lose them and it don't matter anyway. As I was saying, with the mounting system, you're gonna have to mount it. If you mount it on an AR, which that's what a lot of people mount these on, you can get 2 different risers, 2 different heights of risers. There's many brands that you could buy, but you can either go with an absolute co-witness, or you can go with a lower 1/3 co-witness. And I'm going to show you what that means. If you're looking through the sight, if you have an absolute co-witness, the rear and front sight is going to be right through the middle of that thing. So if your sight went down and you want to look through it, you can look right through the middle, and you'll be able to see your irons through it. Also, a trick that I've used before, if your dot isn't on, you can actually use this red dot, if you have an absolute co-witness, as the rear sight. If you had to fire really, really quickly and you couldn't get that rear sight up, it does work as the rear sight if you have it set up that way. Now, if you have it lower 1/3, the iron sights would be in the lower 1/3 quadrant of the sight. Okay, and that's really the difference. I like an absolute just because it's easy to get it on 0 and keep 0, and also the irons are right through the middle of that sight. I just think that's a pretty good idea. Usually the riser height, I'm gonna have a 0.83 inch and a 1 inch. With the 0.83, that's going to be the absolute co-witness, and with the 1 inch height riser, that's going to be the lower 1/3. So now that we got that out of the way, it's pretty simple. You can adjust your windage here, your elevation here. You take these off. They are watertight. This sight's supposed to be waterproof. When you get it, the battery, it's going to have a little piece of plastic in there. Just remove the cap here and take that out, and the battery's in there. It comes with a battery. Battery life on this thing's around 3,000 hours. It's not as good as some, but better than some also. I wouldn't leave it on. You know, you can take a aim point, leave it on, and not worry about it for 3 or 4 years. This one, you're going to want to leave it off until you actually use it, because the battery life is only I want to say it's 3,000 hours, and that's just not gonna last very long, especially if you run it on high. Go ahead and show you this here. The diode, I'll try to get it right here. The diode is it's about 5 o'clock positioning inside there. So you see it's not a complete circle. That's because that little diode's right there, and that's what gives the light off to make the dot. Okay, you have the tint here, which is pretty clear through there if you're looking at it normally, but on the other side here, you have that tint to capture that light, so it gives you the dot. Okay. Also, you would notice, you may not be able to see it right here, you can actually see a little dot. I can see it. I'm not sure I don't think the camera can see it, but you can see the little dot of light if you look at it backwards, but it's not bright enough or big enough. After you get past about 5 or 6 feet, you can't see that, but that is the light actually shining up from that diode up into this sight. So let you look through here. It's just on right now. There's the dot. It's not going to look anything like you actually see it. One of the complaints I have about it is the dot is not exactly a circle. It may look like it on the camera, but it is not exactly a circle. Has a little bit of splash to it. And I do have an astigmatism in my right eye, but it looks the same in my left eye. And my astigmatism is also mostly corrected in my right. I also let a couple of my buds look through it, and they said it had some splash to it, and they don't have astigmatism. So it's not a perfect circle, but $50 sight, $80 sight, whatever, how much you get it for. It's got 11 settings here. I've noticed at night that I would probably use about a 2, and in the daylight, just say a cloudy day, you're going to want to put that thing on about 6 and 6 to 8. And really in the sun, if you're in real sun, you're going to want to run it probably 10 or 11. It's going to make the dot bigger, but you got to have that brightness to get through that sun. And the dot does get a little bigger as you go up in brightness. So it's supposed to be a 3-minute of angle dot, which is 3 inches at 100 yards. And I'm not sure if that would be on the 1 setting or the 11 setting, but it does get bigger, and you can definitely tell that. Trying to think if there's anything else that you might need to know about this sight. Just want to give some information out there if you're looking for just a cheap sight, just to throw on a gun that does work. It's just not going to be able to take the abuse, and that's where I come in and say I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust my life to it. I wouldn't put it on a fighting rifle. I wouldn't use it in home defense. Nothing like that. But competition, fun, plinking, it's a fine sight for that. And it's if you can get it on sale, even better. Like I say, I don't know if I would spend the $80 or $90 on it. I might just spend a little bit more money and get a better red dot. You can get some really good red dots for reasonable prices nowadays, and also ones now with lifetime warranties that are very good sights that you probably won't ever have any trouble with, but if you do, they have a lifetime warranty. This one has a 1-year warranty. Luckily I haven't had to use the warranty yet. When I did the torture test, it didn't break the sight, so that was a plus. But go look at that, and you can see for yourself if it holds 0 or not once it's dropped. I think I drop it at waist height and shoulder height to simulate bangs or falling off trucks or getting wounded and dropping a rifle with the sight on it, or something like that. Different reasons that it could fall. It could be sitting there and just fall over in your house or whatever if you leaned it up against something. But it just kind of simulates that. And I think that's about it for the sight. I'm gonna probably do one more little shooting review with it, and maybe even do some kind of red dot versus iron sight speed test or something like that, just for fun, just to see, if a red dot or, red dots are faster. Let's just see how much faster. I'll try to get that out though here pretty soon. If you have any questions about this though, just comment on the video. I'll be happy to answer them. You can also send me an email at dockenson@gmail.com. And also, if you want to support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/realdockenson and donate there if you want to. Any money that I make on the channel goes back into the channel to get gear, products, firearms, ammo, and it just helps keep it flowing, since YouTube kind of cut the funding off for gun rights and gun channels. Still keep busy trying to get a hold of your representatives and keep up the fight for the Second Amendment. That's the always. I shouldn't even have to mention that, but let's keep that up. And as always, I really appreciate you watching this video. Y'all have a good one. I know I've done into the video here, but just thought about one more thing I wanted to throw out there. When you're looking through this sight at night or low light, you'll see the dot in the middle, but what you also see is, remember how I said that you get that line coming from the diode up to the middle, making your dot? Well, low light and night, with this one anyway, you can't see it right here because it's not, but with the human eye, you can actually see the little bit of light from the dot down to the diode. And just wanted to throw that out there because that can be aggravating, seeing that. It kind of throws a lot of stuff in your eye if you're trying to pick it up for quick acquisition. And just wanted to throw that in there. So that's an added little thing to end this video. And again, thanks for watching.